Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about how many ad groups you should use in each campaign that you are running inside Google Ads. This is the 2024 and beyond edition. Things have changed over the years. Some people say that using less ad groups per campaign is the way to go. And what I'm telling you right here now is if you want to make the most money, this is not the way to go. 9 out of 10 people who do PPC for clients are going to disagree with me on this one, but I'm still not wrong and I'm not arrogant either. And I'll back up my claims here as to why using just a few ad groups in your campaign is not the way to go if you want to make the most money. So I'll get into the reasonings behind that and how to make the most money from Google Ads using the right amount of ad groups. By the end of the video, you'll have all that information. So getting started here, there's some small debate going on, like I said, about this topic in general. Should you use a few ad groups or a whole bunch of ad groups? Some people, most people, say you should only use like 5 ad groups or something like that within a campaign. And then what that means is ram in all the keywords that you want to target into just those few ad groups. So if you're targeting tree removal services, you might target anything to do with emergency tree removal in one ad group, and then another ad group is just regular tree removal, and then another ad group is tree stump removal, and then that's all they do. Okay? For me, the reason why that they're doing this is because they don't want to get off their lazy butts and do more work. Of course, there's some benefits to doing it this way. Namely, other than it's faster to get the campaign set up, you'll get faster results, but you're gonna be hit in other areas here, way more. But for me, I understand how this whole PPC management, ad management space works that I'm in. Why? I've managed hundreds and hundreds of campaigns in the last 15 years. I see what other agencies are doing. I watch other agencies' YouTube channels. I see what other people are saying, why they're saying what they're doing. A lot of it has ulterior motives. And you got to realize in the general ad agency space, from the business side of things, they're trying to do as little work as possible while making you think they're doing as much work as possible, so you'll retain them as long as possible, so they maximize the profit that they're making from you. They want to do just enough to get by that you'll still pay them. Ultimately, your results don't matter to them at all, really, other than to say that as long as you are complaining about the results and you'll still pay them, the results could be whatever the hell they're going to be and they don't care about anything else. So you got to realize most advice that you hear from other people on YouTube, other places online about what are best practices and what, or should I say, not even best practices, but what they do, which they're going to say obviously is best practice, isn't necessarily what's the best for you, because what's good for them isn't, your guys are in conflict. Which is why, by the way, when I started my ad agency, I had an idea to basically charge a lot more for what we're doing, but we're offering more results, so it's worth it. Because it makes no sense to do a little bit of the work and get a little bit of the results, and pay a firm a little bit to get a little bit of the results. You're just screwing yourself over doing that. And in fact, we're starting to just take a percentage of the revenue of the company, of all the sales increase we get that company working on their campaigns, so that we're really completely aligned with that company. And so we're doing as much work that makes sense and that will actually get results, not because otherwise the client says, well, they're only willing to pay $500 a month. And if you tell them $5,000 a month, they about crap themselves. So you say $500 a month, and then you say, okay, well, they're only willing to pay this. I'll just do a teeny amount of work and I'll take what I can get. And it's a really dumb, nobody wins in that situation, by the way. So anyway, rant over about that. You can't believe what you hear, what other people are saying they're going to do, because they're thinking about their interests, not yours. So most people are going to say do like 5 ad groups. What I'm saying is that there's far fewer people out there like me. In fact, anymore, I don't even know of another YouTuber saying that you should do what I'm telling you here, to run lots of ad groups and doing what they used to call the SCAG model that everybody used to do, but somewhat recently people say that you shouldn't do because Google's changed and they can figure things out quicker, better. The reality is people just don't want to put the work in. And Google has changed a little bit, and if you use less ad groups, yes, they do figure out quicker how to manage the ad groups you give them, but you're still not going to make as much money at the end of the day. So, and with that, people usually use too few keywords. They have 10, 20, 30 keywords, 50 keywords. You should have hundreds of keywords that target all the variations of people searching that you know you could get a customer from legitimately, and then have ad groups set up for each one of those keywords so that you can have unique ads, and furthermore, unique landing pages for each one of those keywords, which it's an ass load of work to do all that, but the profits are fantastic doing it. It's just a matter of you knowing it and knowing you either have to do it or you have to pay someone a reasonable amount of money to do it, not a little bit of money, because it's not easy to do, but it's worth doing. So it's just a matter of who's going to do it, you or them. Anyway, with that said, what you should decide on as you're trying to decide how many ad groups you're using, the decision comes down to 1 to 2 different questions. First of which being, how fast do you want results? Do you have $500 that if it doesn't work right away, you're bankrupt because you're just starting out? Okay, use less ad groups. Go against my advice here. Why? Because the more ad groups you have, the longer the algorithm's going to have to figure out, the longer the algorithm's going to take to figure out how to run your ads effectively. Because within each keyword that you target and each ad group that you have, they're going to have to learn how to run each one of those. So when you have less keywords, less ad groups, by the way, it takes them less time to kind of figure out how to run them, even though they don't figure out how to, the nuance is gone. They don't understand that this keyword and this ad group only works in this exact situation, and this one over here works for this exact situation. They use both situations to cover one ad group, and so therefore, the ad that they end up showing both people is less than ideal. So if you need results right away, use fewer ad groups. If you don't need to get an instant return, because you could run a $500 a month ad budget to get started for a few months to get to break even, and you want to make way more money, then you go with more ad groups. 1 per keyword, like I told you, that I always do on every single campaign that I personally run. And the other question here, though, to ask yourself is how much total results that you want. And that should be your bigger priority if you aren't 1 day away from being bankrupt in terms of getting sales at your company. Why? Because less ad groups with more keywords in them will get you results way quicker. We're talking about 3 times as fast. So if you had 1 ad group with a few keywords in it and that's it, you might be able to get results in a month and a half versus 3 months, to where you're break even in terms of like the sales you're bringing in from those ads covering your basic expenses of the ad spend and delivery of that product or service and what have you. You're only going to get 25% of the total profit available in your market off of Google ads when you just use a few ad groups like that, because there's no nuance there. You can't write a dedicated, really well written ad for somebody that's typing specific things. This is where I have my beef with the other people that say you should use less ad groups, by the way, because the fundamentals have not changed. All that's changed is one person said it, then another person said it, and then all of a sudden people are getting away with doing very little work now, and the fundamentals are still the same. Fundamentally, if you're looking for, going back to my previous example, you're looking for a stump removal services company. You don't want to see stump removal firm or stump removal near me in the ad. You want to see stump removal services company in the damn ad. Why? Because it makes it easy when there's 4 ads at the top of Google to pick which ad you're going to click on. Because you're half asleep, you're lazy, you're tired, whatever, you're making this search. you're just going to go look at the ads and you're going to say whatever just stands out as the obvious thing to click on, that's what you're clicking on. And that's fundamentally every single time basically going to be the ad that most closely matches what I just searched for. That's never going to change. I don't care what the algorithm does. So, well, you'll get results a little faster doing less ad groups. There's less for the algorithm to figure out. You're making your ads less optimized for the customers. And ultimately, Google Ads at the end of the day is a competition between you and the other people that are running Google Ads in your market. There's 4 ads there at the top of Google. There's 10 people cycling in and out of those 4 spots, if you didn't know. And who gets shown and for what price you're shown in terms of what you're paying per click all comes down to whether somebody selects your ad as a whole more than the other ads that are shown. Simply put, because Google wants to show the ads that get the highest click-through rate because that shows, and should I say, gives the user the best user experience possible so that they come back and want to click on ads in the future. Bottom line. So whoever has the best, most relevant ad wins every single time. Long term, Google wants to show your ad more because you got the best experience for their users. They want to reward you by charging less money per click so you get a higher ROI. Your ad being more relevant, it gets a higher click-through. You end up with twice as many people clicking out of the total available market share of people clicking on a monthly basis. So you make more money that way. And then, of course, if you have more ad groups, respectively, and you have different ads for each keyword going and taking that to the next step forward so that you can have dedicated landing pages for every keyword. Now you can have custom landing pages that say what they said on what they seen on the ad, which will get you even more profit if you will actually do it. Because if you're looking for a stump removal services company and you see that on the ad and you get to the site and it says, you know, tree removal services company, you're thinking, oh, do they do stump removal? Do they not? That's a bullshit way to set up your ads, basically. You want to say stump removal services company on the page that you're taking them to, or at the very, very least, you want to say stump removal services and go that far with it. But if you want the most results, stump removal services company right in the headline, and you say what city that the user's in the ad and in the landing page headline as well, so they know you cover their area, because that's the second most important thing. And so, anyway, you'll only get 20. Do you want 25% of the total results you can get running 3 or 4 or 5 ad groups? Or do you want to run an ad group for every keyword that there is so that you can have dedicated ads for every keyword that there is and have dedicated ad copy for everybody that has everybody's individual needs, and then ultimately, furthermore, being able to send people to a dedicated landing page that gives them exactly what they were looking for. Yes, it's going to take you probably 100 hours of data entry or 200 hours of data entry time to get this all set up for your company, but then you're going to make 4 times as much money long term. Well, I mean, think about the math here. You have to pay someone 200 hours worth of labor time to set this up, which can be done easily once you create a video explaining how to do it by an outsourced contractor, which you're talking about an extra $5,000 probably worth of, you know, if you're being inefficient about it, that you have to pay, and then losing out on another $5 million worth of sales revenue over the 5 years that you're not having this, that you're going to be running your account for over the next 5 years. It's ridiculous to even partially think about saving that $5,000 and not getting an extra $5 million in sales over the next 5 years doing this. And the reality is, by the way, if you don't do enough with your ads, you're just not going to make a profit. You're not going to get the clicks cheap enough. You're not going to get enough of the best quality clicks, because the good quality clicks are going to be given to the other guys who are doing a better job with their ads, giving their users a better experience. And you're not even going to make money, and you're going to make zero. You're going to lose money, and then you're going to shut your ads off. Versus if you go ahead and do the stuff I'm talking about here, you're going to end up making a pile of money. It's really 2 completely different things here. So maybe you could get away with 3 or 4 or 5 ad groups and make money. Maybe you can't. Even if you can make money, you'll make still way more having separate ad groups for every keyword that you're targeting, and not just target a few keywords, target all the keywords separately. So you can get results a little quicker if you have no choice but to get the results within 1 month, or you're bust. Go with fewer ad groups. If you aren't in that situation, go with more ad groups. Pay someone to help you set this up the right way. It's more than worth it to do. So you get the extra 3x results long-term from your campaign. So, and by the way, if you need somebody to do that, of course, our agency, like I said, we do this for every single client we work on, because I refuse to do it in a half-assed way, because it makes no sense to charge a cheap price for half-assed results. We don't do that here. And if you want to know somebody who wants to give you all the results for a reasonable price, you can reach out to me and we'll do it for you. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, I have a ton of other videos on this channel about how to make money with online ads. You should subscribe. It's the best information you're going to find on YouTube, given I'm personally managing about 50 different ad accounts at any given time. I'm not a YouTuber who makes money on YouTube and that's it. I'm not a guy who manages a couple of accounts. You're getting this from somebody who runs an ad agency and directly strategizes all the accounts myself. So I know what's actively working at all times, basically, through Google Ads, through Facebook, through all the online ad platforms. If you like my channel, I also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. You can also check that out. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. Ask me any questions you'd like about PPC. I'll try to do my best to try to help you out. As a final note, if you're looking for somebody who's worked in your industry before and you just need the campaigns and ads and landing pages and everything that work for your industry, we sell these. I've worked in over 100 different industries before. Chances are I've already done what I need to do to get results in your market, and you can copy paste those results into your account. We sell those for a flat fee. We also offer PPC management services where if we haven't worked in your exact industry yet, we can guarantee results and not take a fee until we minimum increase your sales a certain minimum amount. We don't work with all clients, but I'd love to be able to look at the opportunity that you have and see if we can work together. So reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to look over your stuff. But I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great video and strategy for you there. See you later.